Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of, this is for June 2023. I keep doing that, as usual, right? What else is new? You have this card that says Racing Against Time. It says limited time to do it. Avoid distractions and increase your focus. You have this August card. It says you will find your pack. Act with sincerity and without conditions. So again, I feel like maybe you have until like the month of August to get started on something here. Yeah, and you have the Chariot as well, which would represent charging towards like change or something new. You have the Eight of Cups as well. So anything you're thinking about doing, I would get moving. I wouldn't like wait around and just like wait. Because I would at least get started on something. You have this Fiery Beginning card as well. It says this card says you're on the brink of a real breakthrough. Follow your heart and live your passion. So, definitely a time for you to kind of like get moving towards something that you're thinking about doing in your life. And I think your past few readings have been about this. You have the Chariot, the Eight of Cups, and the Five of Wands. Some of you could just be like moving or traveling. And, the Five of Wands is a card of conflict and competition, but really the Five of Wands represents conflict because the people that are on the Five of Wands, they're using wands to fight. They are not, they're using sticks. They're not using swords. So really, I always say that the Five of Wands is really a card of learning how to fight because, again, those people on the Five of Wands, they are training. They're learning how to fight. So, it could just represent conflict in the sense that you're moving somewhere. So you could be moving and, with the Chariot and, obviously when we move, we experience the conflict of having to learn about a new location. Just, that's just one example. So, some of you are doing something new with your life or you're like moving on to something else. And I feel like you're heading towards like new beginnings or I don't know, something new here is what I'm getting. I definitely feel you're charging towards a victory. I mean, very good reading, very positive, a lot of good stuff here. And so I feel like you're heading towards some sort of victory. You're definitely leaving things behind though. With the Eight of Cups, we just had this new moon in Taurus, depending on when you're watching this video. Obviously, if you're watching it in June, then it was a couple of weeks ago, depending on when you're watching it. But if you're watching this in May, when I put it out, then we just had it. And, I really do feel there's something there with that new moon where a lot of people could be releasing things from the past or could be releasing things that are holding them back in work or, especially, I think that if you're in a situation that requires too much effort, I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't be working hard like on a project or a business, but I think it's that we are in a time where it's like critically important that we focus on working smarter, not harder. And maybe that does lead to hard work, but that it shouldn't be the first part of it, right? It should be like the second part. Smarter then harder is what I'm getting at here. And so some of you could be walking away from things that just aren't efficient in your life anymore. It could be relationships, businesses, work, whatever. You have the Five of Wands here as well. Again, for some of you, I see you like healing some sort of conflict because you have the Chariot and then you have the Five of Wands. And so that could literally mean that you're like moving away from a conflict. So if you've had a conflict with a person or you've experienced conflict, I see this as you kind of like walking away or moving away from it. And I feel like you're heading towards like just bigger and better things in your life. And I don't know. That's really all I get here. But again, you have that Race Against Time card. So I would get moving on something. You also have this Sudden Wealth card. I'm almost positive you had that in your last reading as well. With the Chariot, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, see, I am getting, it's not really like a warning that I'm getting here, but it kind of is a warning. I am getting here that if you're in a situation that is like stealing from you energetically or whatever, that it could, like, I kind of feel this is saying like, move away from it because it is stealing from you and it could leave you in poverty. So, I would be careful of any situations that make you feel weak. The Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. But sometimes, this card, the Five of Pentacles, it could represent that you are in a situation that is like stealing from you, maybe not literally, but figuratively, right? And it's time to leave. It could be a relationship, a business, whatever. But again, I kind of feel this is saying like, don't get stuck in poverty, basically. But it might not be money poverty. It might be, emotional poverty or something like that. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Four Swords. Yeah, you've healed to a certain point, and so now it's time to like move forward. The Four Swords, like normally there's a stained glass window, and in that window there's a person who's receiving blessings from another person. It's almost as if I get here that the universe wants to bless you or the universe is trying to bless you, but I almost get that you have to like allow it, or the universe is like saying, hey, we want to bless you, but you have to allow these blessings in the first place. So that could represent walking away from a relationship that isn't serving you or whatever. With the Five of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, definitely a lot of, inspiration at this time. Ace of Wands is like a passionate new beginning. It also represents out with the old in with the new. So definitely being pushed towards new beginnings. I think every single person basically has had the Ace of Wands. It's just like the time, a sign of the times. It's just the time that we're in. Pluto and Aquarius is all about like doing something new, doing something inspirational, which, this card basically is about. So I'd be doing something new that inspires you. Next, what are we doing? We're doing what you need to hear right now. You have this Libra card. It says new love. It says new romantic relationship is unfolding that will be deeply meaningful to you. That's nice. Could be a Virgo coming in for you, a Libra. Could be any sign. Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo also stand out to me with the Wheel of Fortune as well. You have this fiery beginnings. It says you're on the brink of a real breakthrough. Follow your heart and live your passion. Yes, again, I think one of the best places or the best, I don't know if it's a place, but one of the best ways to meet a person is to meet them while you're in passion, while you're doing something that you're like passionate about. I don't think that means that you have to meet a person who's like the same as you, but it's like, you never know. Maybe you go get another job that you're more passionate about, right? That you actually that your heart is actually leading you to, or maybe it's a business that your heart is leading you to, and through that, maybe you don't meet them at the job, but through that, maybe you meet a friend who introduces you to somebody that brings that person into your life. So that's how we can meet a person, through passion. Same thing like if you're doing something that you're passionate about. Maybe you go on a trip to enjoy some hobby or something like that, and you meet a person on that trip. So again, I think too many people, they think like, they meet a person through a job that they hate, right? And it's like, that's not a good energy to start from. So, again, this is what I'm trying to spit out here, Sag, is this feels like a much better start to me. And it's because of the energy that you're going to be in if this is a person. For others, I do feel this could also be something that you're starting, like a job, a business, whatever. And again, I think it has this breakthrough type energy at the start. You have the Hermit, the Seven of Cups, and the Four of Cups. The Hermit is about having been through something. Again, the Hermit, sometimes I think we can stay stuck in Hermit mode, which is kind of what I feel for you. The Hermit has climbed to the top of a mountain. He's been through a dark night of the soul, and now he's like needs to shine his inner light at the top of a mountain. So it kind of represents needing to, shine your inner light, needing to let something out. And I kind of feel that for you. It's like saying you've been through the darkness, and now it's time to step into the light. You have the Seven of Cups. I really feel you need to tell the universe what you want. Seven of Cups are normally good things and bad things in the cups that are above this guy's head. But he just needs to pick a cup and make it happen, right? He is kind of like thinking of all the what ifs. He's thinking, what if this happens? What if that happens? Instead of just like finding out. So, I really feel for you that this is saying you just need to find out. You need to find out how something is going to go instead of just imagining how it's going to go, right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't visualize. But again, if you're thinking like, about all the good things and bad things, you don't actually know until you step towards the dream, whatever this is, right? You have the Four Cups. This could be something that's holding you back, is like past disappointments, things not working out. I also am getting a very specific message here. It's kind of like saying to me, like, be careful of being disappointed by too many steps. What I mean by that is it's like sometimes I think we work on a business, for example, it fails. We have to start all over, but maybe like the next thing we want to do, there are a bunch of steps. And you could be saying to yourself, do I really want to invest all this time, effort, and energy into something that might not work out again? I feel like this is saying, yes, you do. So it's saying, like, do it again. Yes, it's going to be a lot more work, but it's like you learned from the past and now you can be much more successful this time. Same thing with love. Again, sometimes I think we stay stuck in love that isn't right for us because we just don't want to learn a new person, or we're afraid of learning a new person, whatever the case may be. And so I feel like this is saying that's not like a good enough reason to stay with a bozo, especially if you're like with a bozo right now, right? With the Hermit here, you have the Justice card. Yes, you have the Libra card twice. You have that Libra card and then Justice. So definitely could be a Libra coming in for you if you're looking for love. Could be a Virgo as well. I think I said that. And I do feel like that could be a person. I also feel the universe wants to balance things out for you. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Magician. Yes, you manifested something in your life. Sometimes I think we attract things into our life and then we doubt it, right? We attract love into our life and we're like, oh no, this is too good to be true. I shouldn't, and then we enter into the Seven of Cups where we think, oh, this is too good to be true. This, bad things could happen and good things could happen. When we push our blessings away like that, when we ask for something and the universe brings it to us, it's like then we're shooting ourselves in the foot. So, I feel like this is saying, if you ask for something, accept it into your life, right? It's like, yes, good things and bad things could always happen, right? But it's like, I feel like you have to find out. You attracted something. Same thing like if you've been hoping for a business or a job, it's like you've attracted it, so accept it. With the Four of Cups, you have the Star. Same thing. You've attracted it, so you accept it. The Star is something that, it's a card of hope, faith, renewal. It's something that gives you that brings something great into your life. A Star is a card of fulfillment, and it's a card of hope, wishes, faith. It's a card of renewal as well. So there's something very good coming in for you here, Sag, and I feel like it's going to make you very happy as well. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have the Sudden Wealth card, which I'm almost positive you had with me recently, and you also have this Toil and Labor card. So I feel like it's almost like the universe is paying you back for all your hard work that you've been doing, and you're receiving rewards for it. I also feel like you could be working harder, but remember what I said, I would be working smarter then harder, right? I wouldn't think harder and then smarter. I know that's confusing, but I would start with what's the smartest way I could attack this job or this business or whatever I'm doing, and then think harder. Once you get something that's working. Again, I think, I always preach the 80-20 rule. You get 80% of your results from 20% of the work that you do. So it's what's your 20%? And then, stick to that. And then double down on your 20%, because then you're going to really be successful. But there's something in the astrology, I just feel it, where it's I feel the universe really is wanting people to be more efficient. So if we become efficient, then we're working with the energy. And as I always preach, it's when we work with the energy, that's when we get the rewards. So that's what I'd be doing here. You have the Six of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune. In the Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Cups here, I feel could be a turnaround. Again, you have that card that says breakthrough on it, the fiery beginnings. The Six of Cups, can represent, nostalgia, thinking of the past, but really it's a gift from the universe. It represents a period of time where you've been bumping up against an obstacle, and then when we get the Six of Cups, it's the removal of the obstacle, so you can finally start moving forward. So I just kind of feel forward progress here. You have the Wheel of Fortune. A turnaround, fortune's turning in your favor. It's also, there's something here about your destiny. I feel like you're kind of either taking control of your destiny or you're working more on your destiny, which is probably why you have this Sudden Wealth card. There's definitely some sort of increase in abundance coming in for you, and this could be financial or otherwise, but I really feel that financially things are kind of turning around for you with the Wheel of Fortune. I also get something about kind of moving here for some reason. I don't really, the Wheel of Fortune kind of can represent movement or moving, but I do feel if you are moving, and again, if you're not, this message isn't for you, but if you are, I feel like there's some big, a lot of luck in a move for you. You also have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is about being independent, and it's also about your focus as well. Not only that, it's about your environment. So again, if you are moving or changing your environment, there could be a lot of luck there. There's normally a snail on the traditional Nine of Pentacles, and again, snails wear their homes on their back. So it represents your environment. I'm a big fan of changing your environment if you need to. I always use the story, years ago, I lived in this apartment, and I couldn't sleep, and I moved my bed to the other side of the room, basically, and I slept like a baby for the rest of the time that I was there. So, it's sometimes I think an environment change can make our jobs or our life a lot easier. I always say, when I come in here, I literally hit one button over here, it turns everything on. If I had to turn, I have 900 things that I have to turn on to get this going, right? So if I had to turn everything on, it would just be a lot of resistance, right? So I always think of the Nine of Pentacles because it basically says, create an environment of success. And there's a million ways we can do this. There's also a great book, Atomic Habits. In that book, he literally talks all about creating habits by creating an environment of success. So, I think that could be a good exercise for you is to see, are there certain things that I could do that would make my job easier, my love life easier, whatever, that would create an environment of success. With the Six of Cups, you have the Page of Cups. I do feel like you're attracting love here for sure. Oops, didn't want to do that. But if you're attracting new love, I wouldn't doubt it. Could be an Aquarius. Aquarius really stands out to me, but take it how it resonates. But what I would say here is it's like you asked for it. So I do get this energy of needing to make sure that you don't create too much doubt. I'm not saying you have to like, open yourself right up to this person, but I also would make sure that you're not like pushing them away, especially if you asked for it. So there you go. With the Wheel of Fortune, yes, you have the King of Swords. King of Swords would be a very mature, wise, hardworking person. I literally feel you could be attracting a person like this. Also, air sign. So definitely gives me air sign vibes. But, again, general reading, take it how it resonates. On top of that, by the way, if you have any problems in your life, sometimes I feel the King of Swords can represent a quick solution. And usually that solution with the King of Swords comes from like an expert. And again, it doesn't have to be a man, could be any expert, any gender. But if you have a problem like legally, find a lawyer. If you have a problem with your health, find a doctor. It's like one of those cards. It just says there's a quick solution, but you have to go get it. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Three of Swords. Yeah, again, like I said, if you have asked for love, I would open up to it, and I would make sure you're healed. And if you're not, then I would heal or do whatever you have to do to heal, because there's clearly new love coming in for you if you want it. And I would just open up to it here. Three of Swords can also represent forgiving the past. So some of you might need to forgive something from the past, or you might need to forgive a connection from the past in some way. Next, you have in the area of the good stuff, it says don't value time. It says not using your time wisely, spending time on things that don't count. Literally, we talked about this. I didn't even see this card, and we talked about this whole entire reading. Working smarter, not harder. Same thing right here. But it is showing up in the good stuff, so I feel like you are doing that. You have this card that says waiting to be saved. It says others may help you, but it's still on you to generate your own success. Yes. Although, again, with that King of Swords, if you have a problem, I would find an expert, especially if you have a problem that's like more serious or whatever. I'm not, I don't think this is for all of you, but for those of you that know you have a problem, I would get it taken care of so that it can be solved quickly. And, that's really what I get here. You have the Fool, the Six of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. Some of you are clearly taking a leap of faith in a new direction towards love. You have that Page of Cups in this row. So it could be a new person that's coming into your life. The Fool is a new beginning. And so I feel for a lot of you, there is a very successful new beginning that you're having. Normally there's like a little dog on the Fool card, and that dog represents companionship. So if you are attracting love, I feel like you could be attracting like a real companion, someone who really like wants to be with you, right? You have this Six of Pentacles here. Six of Pentacles is about balance and kind of like balancing things out. So, I feel like you could be creating a lot of balance in your life. And I also feel like you could be creating a lot of abundance. I also feel you've learned a lot of lessons about like where you have wasted time. Again, you have that card that says don't waste time. And, the Six of Pentacles, he's like the guy in the middle. He has to choose who he gives to. So I feel like you have learned like what you can give to, what you can't give to. And this is by doing that, you're creating more balance. You have the Page of Cups as well. Definitely like this is the love that could be coming in for you. Could be an admirer. I feel like you admire someone, it could be a person you work with. Someone you definitely see, if it's a person, it's someone you see as an expert, or you just see them as very wise or something like that. I don't know. It's popping into my head with that King of Swords here, especially if it's an air sign. But I kind of feel like it's a person like that. For others, the Page of Cups can represent a dream. So if you don't want love, and even if you do want love, he normally has a cup and there's a fish in it, and that fish might not be real. So it might just be part of your imagination, something that you would like to create. And again, I feel like there is an efficient way, which is the key word, that you could create something. I feel like, again, especially if you're thinking about starting something like a business project, whatever, and you're thinking harder, I feel like this is saying, no, you need to think smarter. And also, there could be a much more efficient way to get started on something that you want to start. And I would just be, obviously you're going to have to do your research, but you'll find it. With the Fool, you have the Two of Pentacles. The Fool is a card of play, And the Two of Pentacles represents work hard, play hard. So I would make sure you're getting plenty of rest, playing, having fun in life, doing things you enjoy, finding fulfillment. All that is popping into my head is very important for you. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want, which we're in a time where I believe that people need to be extremely confident right now, because if you're not, you're going to be stuck. And if you are, then obviously you're going to find a lot of success here. With the Page of Cups, you have the Judgment card. Love it. Definitely waking up to your purpose. I love the Wheel of Fortune and Judgment together. It kind of represents like a change in your fortunes, you know? Wheel of Fortune is your fortunes changing. Wheel of Fortune is your destiny. Judgment can also represent your destiny. So I feel for a lot of you, you're like kind of getting to this place of your, you know, stepping into your destiny or something like that. Definitely popping into my head. We're going to pull 5 main themes now and see what else wants to come up. You have this Enthusiasm card. Yeah, very enthusiastic energy just in general. All 3 fire signs had something this during this month about like enthusiasm or feeling excited. So I would like move towards your enthusiasm, obviously. You have this Idealism card. I feel like you need to realize that nothing is perfect, you know. Nothing will be perfect. 7 of Cups, sometimes I think we can, you know, get into a relationship and then things start to slip or something happens and then we're like, oh, you know, this is going to fail just like the last one. I feel like this is saying no, like, you know, weigh it up and look, like, did someone just make a mistake? I'm not talking about like cheating or anything like that. Obviously, that's a big mistake and that is definitely grounds for a breakup. But if someone didn't pick their socks up off the floor, is that like, should that end a relationship? Probably not, right? Especially if it's a good one, is what I would say. So, you know, I kind of feel like this is saying, you know, don't look at something as needing to be perfect. You have this affair card. This is actually a good card. It's not like a love affair as in cheating. It's like an affair as in love. So I feel like there could be a love affair coming in, but it's like a good love affair, you know, something that you actually want. And by the way, look at this, Sagittarius, Aquarius. So, you know, definitely could be an Aquarius, like I said. You have this Influence card. I feel like maybe you had a person in the past who allowed other people to influence a relationship, and that could be what you're letting go of here. You know, but for others, I feel like this is saying be careful of influences on new relationships as well. Like, don't allow people in your life to influence it. And finally, you have this Endurance card. I feel like you have a lot of endurance. It's like you kind of like work through things and you don't give up. And, you know, I think that's a good thing, but I would also make sure that, you know, if you've been working on like a project, a business or whatever, you know, make sure you're doing things smarter, not harder, like I said. But this is a really good reading here, Sag. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.